How's it going, guys? It's Brian. I know it's been a while. It's just been a long winter, long spring, and now we're in the summer, and I really don't have any excuse. I said I was going to make an automotive-oriented video and update you guys on everything, but the whole winter and most of the spring was just a hassle with these two guys. So, first off, with the Jeep, I guess we'll start with him. It's always been super reliable, and that's what I always championed about him. But lately, this whole winter, it was just everything just decided to start falling apart on it and needing replacing. Not everything. There were some things that I just been putting off that I should have taken care of long ago that I didn't. But long story short, the Jeep needed a new radiator, new U-joints in the front on the front axle. The water pump went bad, had to get that, or had to replace that. I actually did that on my own. And also, it needed a new fan clutch. And to add insult to injury, well, let's just get up here and get close and personal. But my mechanic pointed this out to me. The rust on the Jeep, it's just getting really bad. If you look closely here, you can actually see my finger through there. If you go around the front or the side, hold on one sec. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it, but you can actually see through the floorboard there, and that's not the drain plug. So it's rusting through there. And down here, it's not too bad towards the front, but towards the back, it gets really bad. So basically, a lot of this is gonna have to be replaced. I don't want to spend money replacing the entire frame on it. I want to start out with a safety cap kit, which is what I've actually purchased. And basically, I've got to find someone to install it now. So the safety cap kit, I bought it off eBay. It was like the eBay special. It was like a $400 kit, and it's basically just parts of the frame that you can replace and just cut out the rusted part and put fresh parts in there and have someone weld it back in. And I basically have to find someone to do it, because the parts aren't the expensive part, the labor is. And I had my mom's boyfriend's son-in-law lined up to do it, but then he fell through, so I have to figure out someone to do that. And then on top of it, the mass airflow sensor, not the mass airflow sensor, the throttle position sensor went bad on this guy a couple months ago, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. So I couldn't get the sensor off, so I had to basically just break it and tear it off and then get the bolt out. And I put a new one in, and it's still throwing the same check engine light. So I went and purchased a whole new throttle body, actually, which wasn't that bad. It was 25 bucks used. And it's as soon as I purchase it, the check engine light goes off. It's still doing this thing where when I initially crank her up, it starts idling really high, and then it levels out after like 10 or 20 seconds. But I would like to get that repaired. But hey, if the check engine light's off and it's not causing me any other issues beyond when I initially start her up, I'm probably not going to worry about it. And then also the bed liner job I did on the fenders, which I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but it's starting to peel a little bit. I wanted to go over it with a darker coat anyway, closer to what the color of the bikini top I have on there is. And I'll get to that eventually. But needless to say, the Jeep technically runs, but there's a lot of work that needs to get done to it for it to be in tip-top shape. So, taking it one day at a time. But that's basically where we are with the Jeep. And the bigger issue was that I had the Jeep in and out of the shop while this guy was in the shop getting warranty work done. So what happened with this guy was, so I got it, and again, This is also going against Carvana because it shows they don't really do a really great job inspecting cars. So I know in my previous video I said, oh hey, I had a decent experience with Carvana. I did in all the regards that I mentioned, and then this happened. So I realized that when I was going over uneven pavement or moving from a stop or coming to a stop, I was hearing this really loud creaking sound that was, it sounded like it was coming from the A-pillar or like the front fender. And I brought it into my mechanic because it had a leaky valve cover that was covered under warranty, so no biggie there. But I said, hey, it's making this creaking noise. And I had actually jacked up the car and like sprayed down the whole undercarriage with lithium grease to try, because I figured it might be like a bad control arm bushing or something. And I was like pulling at everything and I couldn't hear the noise. And so I brought it to him and said, hey, it's making this creaking noise. Can you check the suspension? Because obviously a mechanic's going to know the car better than I would and know suspension better. So had the mechanic look at it, and he couldn't find the noise, and I kind of think he didn't really bother to even look at it or listen for it, but I was just kind of like, whatever. But it was just the sound got so annoying and I couldn't take it anymore. It was like, even with the freaking bugs, man. Sorry. Even with the AC on or the heat on, I could, and the windows down, you could still hear this creaking sound, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I called Carvana and told them, and they said, well, you got to do it through your warranty company. And so I called Silver Rock, and of course they're not going to cover it because they said this sounds cosmetic. So I call Carvana back and say, look, you guys got to figure this out. And also, to backtrack, my mechanic also pointed out, I think this car was in an accident before, nothing serious, but it seems like, you know, he said like some of the paneling didn't seem like it was lined up. He noticed some overspray under the car, which I didn't see and I couldn't see. I looked for overspray when I, you know, picked up the car from Carvana, but I didn't see anything. And obviously he was seeing telltale signs of it, and even though the Carfax was clean, that can happen. Obviously a Carfax is, and I know a Carfax isn't a guarantee that a car's never been in an accident, because obviously if the person pays for it out of pocket or doesn't get insurance involved, then it's not going to show up on the Carfax. Carfax is more indicative of if there is something on there, then you know it. But in this case, I was like, yo, this is going on. I want you guys to take care of it. And they would not take care of it. They gave me the old, oh, well, you had 5 or 7 days or whatever it was to get the car looked at. And I get from a legal standpoint, they were right. But from a moral standpoint, it's like, you should be making sure these cars are fine before you bring it in. And maybe I'm trying to hold Carvana to too high a standard because they're obviously trash. And, you know, obviously I was kind of on the fence about it, and this kind of put me in the camp of Carvana is trash and I will never buy a car from them again. But anyway, to get back to where I was. So I did a Hail Mary and brought it to a reputable auto body shop near me called Caliber Collision. And they figured out that whoever had the car before had some shoddy body work done after whatever accident it was. Again, they also said, doesn't look like anything serious, but this car has definitely had some body work done. And they said that the welds on the fender were done in a really shoddy way, and they were starting to go bad. So I told them I wanted this resolved in the most cost-effective manner possible. So they actually just took some corrosion wax and just filled the entire fender well with it and into the frame with this wax, and it silenced the noise immediately. So is it fixed? No. Is it out of sight, out of mind? Yes. And that's what I was looking for here. Still, you know, screw Carvana. I'll never use them again because of this, but I like the car. That was my only issue, and I'm so glad it was I got it squared away, because it was getting to the point where I dreaded driving the car. And it's a 2017 GT. Why would I not want to drive the car? But it was so bad. The sound was so bad that it got to that point. But it's repaired now, Haven't heard the sound since. I got this done. I took it to the body shop in like the beginning of June, and now it's like the end of July. Haven't heard a peep from it since. So it's good to go in that regard. But yeah, any benefit of the doubt I gave Carvana in my previous video, I hereby revoke it. Carvana is a trash company that is not honorable and does not stand by the cars it sells. Do not buy from them. I'm kind of lucky that that's the only issue I had with this car. I think I mentioned I got the registration and everything, and I actually refinanced the car. So the new company that I'm financing through, because I got a better interest rate and a lower monthly payment, they're going to be the ones that are going to give me the title. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to go, because I've heard stories about Carvana, not actually having the title for the cars they're selling. So we'll see how that goes. But that's basically it, and that's why I haven't made any videos or any car related videos, especially just because I was just so stressed and so frustrated over this. I did not have the energy all winter to really get around to making a video about cars, and it was a little bit of a touchy subject. But anyway, that's my update. Have done a few things to the Mustang, which I'll show you. As I'm sure you're probably aware from my previous video, the wheels were not black before. I painted them black. Sorry, they're a little dirty from, there was a lot of rain while I was away in Vegas this past week. But painted the wheels black, stock wheels black, and also painted the calipers red. Don't know why they don't paint the calipers stock on a GT, because, again, it's like, these are like premium brakes, or at least when you put them on the EcoBoost, but they're a lot beefier than the standard brakes. And yeah, but I painted those. I think that's really it. I did a lot of cosmetic stuff to the cars the past couple years. Haven't really done anything in the powertrain department with the Mustang. I did order an Airade cold air intake for it, so I'm going to slap that bad boy on. From the videos that I've read, it's been a good it adds a good like 14 to 16 wheel horsepower, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know why that runner was staring at me, but whatever. But yeah, so that's all I have going for the Mustang right now. Obviously, I have the safety cap kit for the Jeep. So as soon as I can find someone to install it for a reasonable price, hopefully if I'm lucky I can find someone to install it for like anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, but we'll see. Those are the average quotes I've heard so far. We'll see what happens from there. We're going on 13 minutes, so I'm probably just gonna dip out. There's my bike covered up for posture. Haven't started her up in over a month. Probably should. That's the last time I rode her. But other than that, it is hot as anything out here. It's like been like 101 degrees in South Jersey like for the past week. It's horrible. I'd rather deal with the dry heat that I was dealing with in Vegas last week. But yeah, so that's it. Until next time, I will make a video sooner. Just stay in the loop. Alright guys, take care.